I'll call myself Marcus for this story. I'm 24 and I've been going to the same gym in my town for almost 2 years. It's one of those medium-sized places where you start recognizing people after a while. Not necessarily talking to them, but you see the same faces enough that they become part of the routine. The guy who always does curls in the mirror, the older man who walks on the treadmill every evening, the girl who only trains legs. For me, the gym was just a way to clear my head after work. I usually went around 8:30 at night when it was a little quieter. About 5 months ago, I started noticing a guy I hadn't seen before. The first time I noticed him, he was sitting on one of the benches near the dumbbell rack. At first, nothing seemed strange about it. People sit there between sets all the time. But the weird part was that he never actually picked up any weights. He just sat there. He had a black hoodie on even though the gym was warm, hood pulled halfway over his head. Every once in a while, I'd glance in the mirror while lifting and catch him looking in my direction. The moment our eyes met, he would look down at the floor like he had been caught doing something he shouldn't. I didn't think much of it that night. But then I saw him again the next day, and the day after that. Every time I went to the gym, he was there, somewhere in the background. Sitting on a machine without using it, leaning against a wall, standing near the water fountain, watching. What really stood out was that I never once saw him actually work out. No weights moving, no treadmill, nothing, just sitting. After about a week, I started getting that uncomfortable feeling you get when someone's attention stays on you for too long. You know the kind of feeling where you can tell someone is looking at you even before you turn around? One night, I was doing deadlifts and using the mirror in front of me to check my form. When I looked up, I saw him again. Except this time, he wasn't pretending to look away. He was holding his phone up in front of his chest, pointed directly at me. For a second, I froze. It looked exactly like he was recording. When I turned around and stared at him, he quickly lowered the phone and looked down at the floor. That was the moment I started feeling genuinely uneasy. Over the next couple of weeks, I tried to ignore it, but it got harder. No matter where I moved in the gym, he seemed to reposition himself somewhere nearby. Always far enough away that it didn't look obvious, but always facing me. Eventually, I decided to change my workout time. Instead of going around 8:30 at night, I started going early in the morning before work. The first morning I did that, he wasn't there. The second morning, he wasn't there either. For a few days, I felt relieved, like the problem had solved itself. Then one night, something happened that changed everything. I had just gotten home from work and was sitting in my room watching videos before bed. My window was slightly open because it was warm outside. Around midnight, I heard footsteps in the gravel beside my house. At first, I assumed it was one of my neighbors walking their dog or something. But then the footsteps stopped directly outside my window. I stayed completely still, listening. Then I heard a quiet tapping on the glass. Not knocking, just a slow tapping. My heart immediately started pounding. I slowly leaned forward and looked through the gap in the blinds. There was someone standing outside. A man wearing a dark hoodie. Even through the darkness, I could see the shape of the hood pulled over his head. He wasn't moving. He was just standing there, facing my window. I didn't open the blinds any further. I didn't want him to know I was looking at him. I slowly backed away and grabbed my phone. For a second, I thought about calling the police, but before I could do anything, the tapping stopped. I waited in silence for almost a full minute. Then I heard footsteps again, slowly walking away across the gravel. I rushed back to the window and looked outside, but whoever it was had already disappeared into the dark. The next morning, I tried to convince myself it was just someone walking by or messing around, but that feeling in my stomach told me otherwise. Later that evening, I went to the gym like usual, and the moment I walked through the door, I saw him. The same guy in the black hoodie, sitting on a bench near the wall. When I stepped inside, he slowly lifted his head and looked straight at me. Then he smiled. It wasn't a normal smile either. It was slow and deliberate, like he knew something I didn't. I didn't even start my workout that night. I turned around and walked right back out of the gym. I canceled my membership the next day and signed up somewhere across town. I also installed cameras outside my house. Nothing like that has happened again since, but sometimes, late at night when my phone sends a motion alert from the camera outside my window, I still get that same feeling in my chest, because a part of me wonders if he's still out there somewhere, watching.